Welcome. This is a Those Two Metal Dudes minus one today. Doing an episode minus my co-host Chris because I've been listening to a lot of stuff and I kind of just want to show you what I've been listening to and share the wealth of the wonderful metal. So this will be short, quick, to the point. So this first album I've been checking out is Gatecreeper Sonoran Deprivation. Borrowed this one from Chris, came out on Relapse Records 2016. Excellent death metal in the vein of really that old school Swedish death metal sound, a la Dismember and Entombed. Really good stuff. Next on the list, Sumac. The Deal is the name of this album. This is on Profound Lore Records. The guru Aaron Turner, formerly of ISIS. This is his latest project. This album came out in 2014. It's a bit of a super group. Also on bass, you got Brian Cook from Russian Circles. Also, he was formerly in Botch and These Arms Are Snakes. So the dude's he's a beast on the bass, man, for sure. Great stuff. Very good stuff. And kind of in the ISIS, Neurosis, Cult of Luna, post-metal kind of vein, but overall I think it's a good bit heavier than ISIS was. Just great stuff, man. Everything Aaron Turner touches is gold. And of course Brian Cook, man, like every project he's been in, every band he's been a part of has been great as well. So next on the list, Carnifex, Die Without Hope. Recently got into these guys. They're a deathcore type band. Watched one of their interviews, question and answer kind of things, and they embrace the deathcore tag. The latest, I think they called themselves half jokingly blackened industrial deathcore. Creating their own sound. Definitely been leaning more towards the black metal stuff on their last couple of releases or so. This is still really brutal. Just really good deathcore, man. These guys have been around for about 15 years. This one came out in 2014 on Nuclear Blast. Awesome artwork, great album, brutal. Next on the list, going back a ways, The Autumn Offering, Revelations of the Unsung. This one was on Jamie Josta from Hatebreed's label Stillborn Records. It's a good metalcore, kind of in the vein of a lot of those metalcore bands of the early 2000s, kind of taken influence and inspiration heavily from the Swedish, sound, In Flames, and a lot of those kind of bands. Good stuff, All right. Moving on to the next. And some people might argue that this is not part of the metal genre. Some people call it hardcore. Some people call it metalcore. I say it's heavy and angry and definitely has metal elements. It's, kind of in that Hatebreed vein. So it can belong in either or both genres. So I just call it really good, pissed off metalcore, hardcore influenced metal or metallic hardcore, whatever you want to call it. This is Lionheart, The Will to Survive. Really good stuff. This also was on Stillborn Records. I believe this one came out 2008. Just angry, tough metalcore. Really good stuff. Great band. Got into those guys probably 3 or 4 years ago. Really good. Next on the list, going back to the death metal genre, Suffocation of the Dark Light. Really good release. Nuclear Blast 2017. This was the final album with Frank Mullen on vocals. Not a big fan of what I've heard so far and watching live videos from their current and new vocalist that replaced Frank. I don't know. I don't think Frank is a guy that you could really replace, especially after so many years and so many releases with Suffocation. You just kind of get used to that sound. He was one of the best at the brutal death metal vocals. So, that's about all I can say, man. There's, typical Suffocation. There's some great blast beats. There's some really cool technical stuff, some dual guitar leads between Terrence and the other guitarist, and of course those signature brutal, slow, just heavy as nails breakdowns that Suffocation is so famous for. Excellent. You know, if you're a fan of Suffocation, you need this one. If you're a fan of, you know, awesome death metal, you need it. Final on my list, Creator, Gods of Violence. Excellent German thrash or blackened thrash, whatever you want to call them. This one came out also in 2017, Nuclear Blast. That was a good year for Nuclear Blast Records. You know, a favorite track on here, number 3, Satan is Real. Very catchy chorus. Awesome stuff. The second track, the first official musical, you know, with vocals. The first track, Apocalypticon, is kind of like a little short intro thing. But the second track, World War Now, is great. It's catchy as well. Man, you know, just great production. I think Creator is one of the most underrated thrash bands. I mean, you know, you're always like, you've got the big four in America with, you know, Metallica, Megadeth, Anthrax, and Slayer, and then outside of that, you usually kind of have like Exodus and Testament, and then you can, you know, kind of keep going with bands like Death Angel and Dark Angel and Sodom, Old Sepultura, you know, a lot of those bands. But I think Creator, honestly, in my book, you know, man, you know, they should be tied with somebody in the top 4, you know, in the big 4 worldwide. I mean, this band has just put out amazing release after amazing release for years and years and years. And I mean, you know, listening to this stuff coming out of these guys in 2017 after they've been around for so many decades and still putting out just the best sounding, just most thrashy, just, I mean, there is none more metal than this. I mean, you have to check this out. If you're not a Creator fan, get this album. You'll become a fan instantly. If you like thrash, this is it, you know. So that's it for this shortened half of a version of that one metal dude, filling in for those 2 metal dudes today. Hope you've enjoyed it on this Saturday. The world's upside down. Keep moving forward. And don't be stupid.